Hi, it's me, Leslie, here to teach you about drop-down lists. So, basically, drop-down lists are lists of options that you would give um, the user so that they could enter in um, a field based on a set of choices. So here's my dog, and let's see if she um, is going to drive us crazy or not. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead. This is the intro here for the quiz. And I'm going to click on Start Quiz, and I'm going to say OK. And then we're going to go to the explanation. And so here it's saying what they are. And it's just like what I was saying before. It's a set of choices that you can set up for the user so that they can put in um, to the field only these specific choices. So you can set it up so that either they can only do these or they can be suggestions. Either way. Um, yeah, they help with data consistency, and it's really an important um, feature because data consistency and integrity is very, very important. You want to know that your data is right. So anyway, so here are a list of properties that you can set up um, for a drop-down list. For example, limit to list. So if you say limit to list yes, then they can only put in to the field exactly what's in the list. If you say no, then the list is just a bunch of suggestions. Row source type. So you can have two different kinds of types of um, of possible sources for your data that is that makes the list. So you can either choose to have a table be entered in the for the property setting for the row source type. So remember, there's the property and the property setting. And so row source type is the property, and the setting would be either for you to choose a name of a table, or else you can, or not a name of a table, you can say table slash query, table or query, or the other option is to say value list. So if you say table or query, then you're going to indicate a table or query that is going to be pulled from. And if you say row source is or I mean, if you say value list, then it'll pull from the list that you provide right there in the table. Okay? Column count is just the number of columns you want to have showing in your list. So let me go up here and show you what I mean. See, right here, it only has one column, but you can actually have more than one column showing. Even though only one item will go into the field, you can actually display, like for example, um, a list of all these abbreviations, and next to it would be for example, DE, and then next to it could be Delaware. So it would be column count of 2. And you could set it up so you have 2. And so the column count would be 2. And the width of your columns for your drop-down list, okay? And then bound column. What that means is what column in your list is the one that's actually going to get recorded in the field. Here, column heads, if you wanted to have, like here, right here, it's saying state, abbrev, and then state, so it would show at the top of your list, like this guy right here, state abbreviation state, okay? And then how wide your list is in general, the whole list itself. So the properties can be very useful, and I encourage you to read through this and get to know them. Okay, and here it says drop-down lists are available for short text, number, and currency data types only. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so here I'm going to actually walk you through this activity of building a drop-down list so you can see it. Okay, so first we're going to go to the contacts table in your database. So here's the database, okay, and here's the contacts table. This table for which you would like to set a drop-down list needs to be in design view. Okay, so we'll put it in design view. Okay, and so I'm going to make this go away because we don't need to think about that right now. Okay, and I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll just go with it like this. Okay, so now click on the field for which you would like to set a drop-down list. So I'm going to click on state, okay, and in the properties section down below here, you click on the lookup tab. So right here, I'm going to click on the lookup tab, okay, and here, right here, I clicked in here and then this appeared, and so I can click down and I want to click on combo box, okay, as it says here. Okay, now you'll see the property box looking a little bit different, okay, and so here, let's see if we can get this to, yeah, this might work. Okay, so it says here are the properties. This is the properties and what you want to set them to. Okay, so here, row source property table / query. So row source, oops, that should say type. Row source type table / query. And that's right. Row source drop down states. So I'm going to type here, drop down states. Okay, and it's guessing because it's guessing based on a list of tables and queries that are already built in this database. Okay, so then it says bound to column 1. Okay, that's the first column in the drop-down list. This is column count. We're going to say 2 because we're going to show the abbreviation, and then we're also going to say the state spelled out. Okay, then column head, I'm going to put that to yes. Okay, and then column widths, how wide I want the columns, so I'm going to say 0.75 semicolon 1.5. All right, and then 10 for the number of rows that are going to be listed at any one time. And then the list width, okay, so that's 2.25. So that's the overall width. So that's the total of all of the columns together. I'm going to put here. And then limit to list, I'm going to say yes. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to test it. So I'll save first, and then I'll go into design view, and I'll go over to the states and I'll click here and see, you can see that headers. Here's the headers. And then here is the abbreviation and the name of the state. And here's the list. And there are 10 of them in the list, like we have setting over here. Okay? All right. So anyway, it's always important for you to test your drop-down list, because there are a lot of settings, and so yeah, you can easily mess them up. So make sure that you check each one of these settings when you go to build a drop-down list. And I will, let's see, what's this? An important note. Oh, and this explains about the difference between table/query versus value list for your row source property, which actually, let me see. It should be row source type, not row source property. So I'm going to change that. Even though I'm talking about it in the video, when you see it, it will be corrected. So anyway, I hope that helps. Yeah, and so I will put a link to this in this into this supplemental activity. Thanks.